Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the NA Challenger Series #1 semifinals, hosted here by Chaos Television. I am Forecard Jester, and with me tonight, Malphus X. We did just see LMQ sweep a 2-0 victory to enter into the grand finals, and now we need to determine who they're going up against. On the left-hand side, Team Blue is going to be LoLPro, our technical winners of yesterday. Yes, they did get swept out 2-0 by Complexity, but Complexity immediately forfeit and decided to give the spot to LoLPro, who has said yes. So, LoLPro in the house. On the right-hand side, a team that I have actually very little experience with. It is Team Disney Stars. So, Malphus, do you have any insider info here, sir?
Sadly, the only players that I feel like I know anything about at all are Bsin and Body Drop. I know Body Drop as being a really ridiculously strong Thresh player, and Thresh did not get banned yet. So if they do go over there, I think that's a very likely pickup. I also know that Bsin is widely considered to be one of the most technically gifted Lee Sin players in North America. So I think that's also another potential pickup. But then again, those are Lee Sin at least a little bit more niche champion. Although he's a very strong jungler right now, so that could end up being the pickup there. Those are kind of the only two guys that really stand out to me. But sadly, I have not had as much time to watch as much solo queue stream as I might like. So some of these guys could be complete solo queue superstars, and I would just have no clue about it.
Well, I guess we're going to be in for a treat. Let's see how they do in game #1. Already, picks going fast and furious, but let's take a quick look at the bans. LeBlanc, Kha'Zix, and Yasuo. I think Yasuo very appropriate here, but that's 3 mid bans coming out of the way from LoLPro. On the other side of the things, Gragas, Kassadin, and Pantheon. All 3 bans we have seen previously repeated here at NA Challenger Series #1. So, again, I don't really see anything super targeted except that LoLPro is looking to hit that mid laner real hard.
Yeah, they're looking to isolate that pick, and they end up grabbing the Ziggs here for Heaven. Well, it's not going to be for Heaven time. He's the one who grabs it up for Nijaki. So, to me, this looks like 3 bans, 3 champions that do really well against Ziggs. It's kind of what I'm looking at as I see this, like, LeBlanc does really well against Ziggs. Kha'Zix can do really well against Ziggs if he's able to get out ahead. And Yasuo, it's very much a skill-based matchup because of how high the skill ceiling is for Yasuo, but can be used very to great effect to kind of shut down a Ziggs. So I feel like they just did everything they could to open the lane up for Jackie here, and he's going to be playing a very comfortable champion for him, as they do know that the red side obviously have the last pick, so they're going to be able to get the counter pick going anyway. So why not just ban most of the stuff that does really well against the champion and then pick that champion?
I do believe we saw Ziggs yesterday being played up by Jackie. It was a Ziggs versus Gragas combo, I want to say. And I'm looking back at my notes. Complexity Blank versus LoLPro. There was a Ziggs played out once. And I do believe, yeah, that was being played out by Jackie. So we have seen him in this before, but I'm a little bit more interested in the now finalized lineup of LoLPro, because Caitlyn with the Siege, at least very ban-worthy. She's getting here into her jungle. Ziggs for NY Jackie, but a new support has entered the round. We have our first Nami of the series.
Nami Caitlyn is one of those lanes that just kind of works. You throw the Tight Collar's Blessing down into Caitlyn, and the 650 auto attack range combined with the extra slow, combined with the extra damage, becomes really colossal. And interestingly enough, they did pick up the Sivir into the Caitlyn, so that Caitlyn is generally considered to be a bit of a counter pick to Sivir, and expect to see LOD have a CS lead coming out of the laning phase. He should have a pretty significant CS lead as well, unless something really horrifically bad happens here, just because of the fact that Caitlyn outranges Sivir by so much. That said, you know, there is a Thresh here. It is Body Drop's Thresh. I did give him a shout out as we were going in to pick some bans, and he is going to end up playing it. So if he is able to land some good hooks down and some really timely flays as well, this lane could get cracked wide open. Also, one extra honorable mention here: it is Vi Thresh, and at level 6, that is absolutely terrifying. Maybe not so much against the Caitlyn, because Caitlyn can use the 90 caliber net to get herself out of range, and potentially out of range altogether of the Assault and Battery. But Nami has no such luxury. So if they Lantern in the Vi and she goes for the Vault Breaker or the Flash and then the Assault and Battery, that's very likely going to be a very dead support.
And the support is, believe it or not, running heal as a summoner spell. So fun times. As we see the solidified results on the left-hand side, Team Blue, LoLPro, is going to be rocking that Nami. Trundle in the top has been very successful in every game that he's been in, but Elise, a very repeat ban, going to be off in the jungle, and Jackie on his comfort Ziggs with the Caitlyn Siege Master. LOD and LOH Pally, I believe, played Caitlyn once yesterday. Again, looking at notes, yep, Caitlyn once, Sivir once. So again, like Caitlyn, we see very, very viable in the bottom lane, very contended. Now, you know, a lot of the times there will be a Caitlyn in these games. And look at that, a Sivir. Again, I still maintain a really high ratio here. This is game number 7 and 6 of them so far have had Sivirs.
Yeah, that's just how powerful Sivir is right now. How much teams are really kind of favoring those compositions that have her, you know, kind of in the forefront. So it's been effective as well. You know, we've seen the last 2 games. LMQ got the Sivir both games, and they picked up 2 pretty one-sided wins. So it's hard to argue with success.
And I'm going to amend that and say that I misread the notes, and it actually was complex. Was LoLPro with Ziggs twice in a row yesterday, so no Sivir play there. But either way, Sivir's been there 6 out of 7 games, and Caitlyn, again, if she's not picked, she's banned, and that is all you need to know about that. These guys are going to get ready to go, guys. 90-second countdown. We're going to start that off, and when we come back, game number 1 of the LoLPro versus Disney Stars semifinals here for the NA Challenger Series number 1, presented by Chaos TV. Go grab a friend, bring him back, because we're going to go full YOLO, LOMO, and all the other acronyms that you could think of in just a moment.
It's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna breathe, and it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna need. And it's you that I wanna need.
Welcome back, guys. NA Challenger Series #1 second semifinals as we have LoLPro here on the blue up against the Disney Stars. I'm Forecourt Jester. With me tonight, Malphas X. Going to be carrying me in terms of the knowledge, but we're looking at game #1, and you were talking a little bit about the Disney Stars and how they have some really technical players, some really well-known picks, and we do got that Thresh, B-Sin, maybe not on his Lee Sin, but he is going to be on that Vi, and you did allude to a level 6 overwhelming combo, so I'm going to be personally looking forward to that as this game gets rolling.
I really like the team composition we're seeing here from Disney Stars. They have so much available to them at all phases of the game. Renekton, really strong lane bully. I believe does have an advantage matchup against Trundle early on in the lane. Then Trundle, I think, has a good potential to outscale him as he can use his ultimate to take away Renekton's hyper tank status in the late game if that's what Renekton ends up going for there. So there's a lot to watch out for here on both these teams. But mostly, I'm going to be watching Body Drop. I want to see if he can make some big Thresh plays.
Minions have spawned.
I am personally excited to see some Thresh play because we've seen a lot of repeat bans out of Thresh. I would say, just off the top of my head, almost 2/3 of all games have actually had him banned out. We saw him played out once yesterday, and that was about our extent of that. But just getting into this game, we do have those creeps spawning coming out to the lane, and again, no real big surprises coming out there. The red side's starting blue, the blue side's actually starting blue, and everyone is where they ought to be. The dual lane's bottom, and our solos top and mid, so nothing really too strange there as B-Sin starts off. Heaven Time got a little bit of an assist there from Trundle as well, and they're basically off to the races.
Yeah, junglers killing the jungle, doing their thing. And
laners killing the lanes.
I'm gonna take like a 2-minute break from paying attention to the game, and I'm just gonna watch this Scorched Earth Renekton skin because this is the first time I've seen it in game.
I got you, bro. It's all good. Haunter so far doing good up against the chunky Fresh, taking chunks out of him. But we've seen Trundle very successful in a lot of the games that he's actually played up, and Chunky Fresh is figuring that out the hard way, taking all those bites out of him.
Yeah, but the thing is that Chunky Fresh is, now he's got the big minion wave pushing over to him. He's been able to get some good call to Meeks down and get some HP going back, get his sustain going up. Thus far, it's been Haunter sustaining from minions dying near him, and Chunky Fresh hasn't been doing quite as much of that. Chunky Fresh already burned down his potion, which is not necessarily the best for Renekton to be kind of playing a little bit more passively in the lane. It's not really what you want to see. But, we'll see. He's still got the opportunity to turn this back around.
If you take a quick look at some of the items, it's not the all-Adorn start that we've seen in the past. If you look at Nami, she actually does have the Ancient Coin, so a little bit of regen, but less tank ability out of her. And as you said, Chunky Fresh already took out his potion, but I didn't actually not know that Trundle went Blade first, and that actually might end up being his demise as he is going to get ganked here. B-Sin with that red and blue, the flash forward there from Chunky Fresh. They're going to go real deep under this. But they do trade it out. Really good tower play. B-Sin is going to get out of that one at half health. But a 1-for-1 is the best you could have asked out of that 2 gank.
Yeah, that said, the 1v1 is going to end up going, or the trade there, the 1-for-1 trade is going to end up going heavily in favor of Disney Stars because the jungler is there to push it back out. So they're going to deny some extra experience. They're going to have, at least that experience is going to go to somebody on their team. And also they had access to the assist pool there as well. So a little bit of extra gold going down for the kill. And additionally, they had the first blood. All of that said, it's still not enough to actually give them the gold advantage back, as the CS gaps in both the bottom and mid lanes is just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, taking a quick look, Ziggs up 30-23, and Caitlyn actually doubling that of Sivir at this point, 28-14. You can see the bottom lane really pushed up hard as LOH Pally and Law just doing work. The range onto Caitlyn is just punishing these guys so hard, and Low Pally with the heals, with the stuns, is just lining up a lot of those shots.
Absolutely, yeah, the bubbles are landing. Every time the bubble lands, oh, that's a cocoon on a Gremlin.
And those are going to be some mines. That forces out the flash. The repel comes down from Eventime, maybe a little bit too antsy. Didn't want to get hit by that tower range, but flash now down from Gremlin. He's going to be forced out of lane as well, and that's just going to leave Jackie to get even higher with that creep lead.
Absolutely. So we see Gremlin is looking to go in for the chalice first to give him a little extra mana regeneration, a little bit of extra magic resist. Always going to be good against a lane, or in a lane against the Ziggs. The Ziggs is going to be looking to just spam out all day long. If he's able to complete his challenge, which indeed he is, that's going to be a pretty good advantage for Jackie. Actually having a significantly stronger amount of mana regeneration is going to easily open him up in the spam war. He's going to have a pretty good advantage there. We'll see exactly how well he's able to utilize it.
Bottom lane still looking strong. LOD, LH. Again, you throw down the prison and you line up that Piltover. It's just doing work up against Body Drop and Latman. You can see them just a little bit low on those hit point values, and no real heals to go around from that lane. I mean, the regen plus the mana potion on Nami will keep Caitlyn just farming for days. Top lane though, Chunky Fresh takes out all the creeps. Here comes B Sin, but he does get hit by that Trundle's Pillar of Filth, and it looks like he's going to be okay out of that one. Good thing too, because he did not have a flash to rely on.
Yeah, Hunter he really stuffed him with that pillar. That was really, really nicely placed there, being able to shut that down. And this is where Chunky Fresh is. I mean, he's got 3 points now in the queue in the Call to Meek, so his sustain is really high, his damage output is really high, and Hunter's having a little bit of a difficult time dealing with him right now.
He is going to be rebuffed, and this is, I think, the first time we've actually seen Trundle a little bit more on the back foot for these matchups. And I think I'm going to quote a very famous Renekton. I think it was Mega Zero that said, "Why is Renekton even a hero? Because he just can just do some ridiculous things."
Well, I think we're all fans of doing ridiculous things every now and then, so let's keep him in there just on the off chance that you feel like doing something ridiculous. Heaven Time going to ridiculously flash away from that one, as B-Sin is ridiculously out of mana.
And everything was henceforth ridiculous. Top lane is also being traded out really poorly again. Hanser just again on that back foot. Chunky Fresh actually not getting chunked down anymore. We're gonna have a little bit of a competitive pause, just settle some of these pings. Rito, please. Haven't seen any news about the return of the DDoSers, but let's make sure it stays that way.
Alright, so B-Sin, apparently B-Sin was just having a little bit of a high ping issue momentarily here. Hopefully that'll be able to sort itself out. I'm hoping, let's see, what could be the potential cause for it. I'm hoping that a friendly, I'm trying to think of a way to put this. Like,
what are you going to say here?
There's like some guy is outside of his apartment stealing Wi-Fi, but he's doing it for a good cause. He's using it to gather research that he's going to use to help combat infectious diseases in South Africa. I'm assuming that that's what he's going to do.
Raising awareness with the internet. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. By causing minor lag in one of the games here in our tournament tonight. So do go support all of those initiatives, guys. It's important.
This friendly message brought to you by Esports Venture and Chaos TV.
They probably would not like having their names associated with my ridiculousness.
Ah, well.
That's okay.
I blame you. Anyways. Down south, a little bit low hit points there for the Latman. He does have to head on back to Fountain. Hanser is still holding his own down here. It's really hard for Chunky Fresh to kind of dive under that tower. But, you know, Blue was here, and Lulu did get it. But will B-Sin pay for it with his life? He juked out absolutely everything. But that last little dash from the Heaven Time, not going to be enough to keep Vi up and alive. Heaven Time now very likely going to get swatted by this newspaper of Latman. And nice lantern trick at the end. 2 for 2, but Lulu did keep out her blue.
Yeah, that was, a little bit interesting. They went in really, really hard for that dive. They tried to be able to grab that one up. At the end of the day, it's not going to change that dynamic in the bottom lane, which I want to say is where Disney Stars are going to need to start applying the most pressure. They need to be most worried about this, because here we are 8 minutes into the game, and the Caitlyn is still nearly doubling up Sivir CS. I mentioned that the Caitlyn was probably going to come out ahead, but this is far too far ahead, like way too far. B-Sin needs to hit 6 immediately and make his presence felt down in that bottom lane.
Well, Law does have his 6. LOH probably not quite there yet. In fact, one more creep kill, and I think they're going to get it. That would be a tidal wave initiation if they can get some jungle support. But Laud in the back, I mean, a little bit low on mana. Not entirely too sure that they're going to be able to get out a kill with that amount. But still, as you said, the ridiculous numbers are still being ridiculous.
Yeah, I call a 30 CS gap pretty ridiculous. As the amount of ridiculousness that's been going on this game has been just ridiculous.
Hanser going to go up top.
2v2 at top.
Yep, Chunky Fresh. I mean, he baited this out, but both jungles are going to be there. It is going to be Hanser that drops. Heaven Time actually now in danger of joining him. Nice slice and dice, and not even a tower can bring down the Chunky Fresh Renekton. And I got to say, that Scorched Earth skin is looking mighty fine with that Dominus.
Oh, Mega Inferno bomb. Gonna pump with the wave. Is it enough?
Yeah, just no. You needed 3 tower shots, and it wasn't going to be there. But the pressure has been relieved, and Zig's got a good amount of farm out of that. Again, being a very ridiculous number up against Gremlin.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing there's a 30 CS gap in both the mid and bottom lanes right now, as Nijaki is abusing the blue buff plus the chalice to just go and farm as many things as he can up. He's also got the Fiendish Codex and a little bit of extra cooldown reduction and ability power, making it a little easier for him to clear out all of these creep camps that he's moving in towards. But right now, just based purely on CS, they're able to lock down the gold gap that normally would be there for being down 2 kills. That's just how, and additionally those 2 kills, at least one of them we know for a fact it had like assist pool versus non-assist pool when they traded 1 for 1. So like the CS numbers right now are doing so much work in keeping this game even. Otherwise, Disney Stars would have a pretty significant advantage.
Heaven Time is going to be finding himself at the mercy here of Beeson and Gremlin, but here comes Jackie. That's going to be quite the satchel charge. Bombs away on top of Beeson, forcing out the flash here on Gremlin. Another great bomb, but that tidal wave and ace in the hole, is that going to be enough? Jackie does flash forward. That's going to be the shield. Gremlin not going to get hit by the Heaven Time is there with the ignite. Well, with Jackie's ignite at any rate. Beeson, however, will trade it out. Could go for the double. Does have the red and blue flash forward. That will be the slow, the second, and the last of it. Even with the style points on the Q. So double kill going the way of Vi. Not exactly the trade that LoLPro wanted. Hanser up top, maybe getting the trade that he wanted, but that's going to be the Dominus. What's better, Dominus versus Subjugation? Subjugation kind of winning out a little bit harder, but I don't know. Those slice and dice is trying to even it all out. Chunky Fresh, can you do it? Can Hanser get the shot? The bite does not kill him off, and now he has to deal with these minions, and I don't know if they'll re-engage, but Vi is coming up, and I'm sure that she's looking for it. There's the Assault and Battery. Chunky Fresh coming on in. Seals the deal, and Vi being the superstar in that top mid area. Lot in the bottom, though, is not quite done. He does get hit by the hook, but I think that was actually the interrupt there from LoLPro because the box went off uselessly off to the side. And finally, Malphus, you get to say something.
The box, just the extra setup time that the box takes now was the only reason why he wasn't able to pick that kill up. There's the nice double bubble coming down, but here's Gremlin roaming from mid.
Yeah, never mind. Laud not really taking the damage that you would have expected. Here comes the Heaven Time as well. Gremlin going to go low. That's going to be the bomb and the repel. 2-0 exchange by the end of it there for LoLPro. Didn't quite get Latman, but a nice rotation did ensure more kills going to them, and now we got pings on Dragon.
Yeah, this Dragon's going to go down there. They're not in position to contest this as all as they don't have Beeson with them. Just have Beeson still coming out of the base. So we see this is going to end up going over to Heaven Time and the rest of LoLPro to grab themselves up the first Dragon of the game. So combine that with the 40 CS gap down at the bottom lane and the 30 CS gap in the mid lane. And the fact that they're starting to close down the kill differential that we're seeing here. They do have the gold lead right now, but it's not as much of one as they could have had because of the fact that Chunky Fresh was able to take down the top tower.
Hanser, yeah, there is no top tower there, as you said. Chunky Fresh did do a good number on it, but bot tower is could be in some danger. But as I say that, nope, everyone's just gonna back away. So everyone did kind of come to the defense of Latman. You did see almost an attempt there from LoLPro to pick it up, but tower for a Dragon. I mean, Dragon respawns, towers don't. So in terms of that, Disney Stars, you know, they are gonna keep up with this pressure. Believe it or not, though, they're still down in that gold, and so Dragon, please.
Dragon, please, indeed.
Not
Latman
even
is
that
just,
much gold.
Latman is just taking advantage of every second that he has alone in the lane. He's just so grateful for it. The Bloodthirster is now completed here for LOD. We see it's going to be a BF sword coming out, but nowhere near having the, actually relatively near, only 300 gold away from having the combined. But that said, that's actually a huge spike, both because of the fact that you get a little bit more damage from having the Raw Bloodthirster, but then once you can farm it back up and get those stacks on it, you end up having so much additional attack damage. So again, we're in a situation where LOD and LoPally are completely dominating the bottom lane, and there's not a whole lot Latman and Body Drop can do about it.
Well, Nijaki, he wants to go for this blue, but unfortunately there is a 3-man Disney Star team here, and Nijaki unfortunately does drop. LoPally going to be a little bit low on those hit points in this bot lane, as it does look like Disney Star's got the better trade there, and this blue steal is now in full swing. as you see Chunky Fresh is playing a little bit of interference. So not only did they lose out the mid lane, but LoLPro about to lose out that blue, might even lose out Laud. Great tidal wave, actually might even be the death of Body Drop, and it will. Laud does get that kill, but Latman cleans it up with the Boomerang Blade, and now LoLPally has to be very careful here, but it might actually be Latman that has to be careful.
Latman is not going to get hit up by the bubble. Now he's going to turn back around.
Wow, that Boomerang Blade put out the barrier just at the end as well. So kills secured. Really interesting combinations of kills going back and forth, but it's still the Disney Stars taking now the kill lead and the gold lead on top of the tower lead.
Really nice play there by Body Drop, once again landing the hook on LOD as he was stepping in to try to get some tower damage down, getting the box down, and actually using the flay right as LOD walked through one of the walls of the box. So he gets the damage in the slowdown and then repositions him with the flay, allowing Latman to get as much damage down as possible. He ends up trading his life back out, but that's 100% worth. If your support goes down and the AD carry picks up 2 kills in response for it, I'll take that trade every day.
10-6 and trades for days. You saw a little bit of dancing there from Vi there in the mid. She did drop a little though. Laud is going to take his red, so we'll have to see if that actually turns the tide of battle in its favor or not. Sivir sitting at 3-0-0, does have a Bloodthirster just before the 16-minute mark, picked it up at the 15-minute mark. So, you know, not the earliest that I've seen, but at the same time, Caitlyn, she's had hers for a bit. Looking at B-Sin mid, though, just jumps right there on top of Jackie. Wild Growth, I don't quite think connected with the Yordle, but they're looking for the kill on top of Heaven Time. That was an interesting flash there from B-Sin. Can the red and the blue get into range? Heaven Time is going to drop. Gremlin picks it up, and that's going to be the double, but bottom lane, Body Drop finds LoLPally. Goes right in. Caitlyn nowhere to be seen. Sivir off to wherever she is as well, and well, that's a little anticlimactic at the end, but still, Heaven Time and Jackie dropping for free, essentially. It's interesting.
Yeah, B-Sin, he tried to go for the Vault Breaker, and as the Vault Breaker was finishing up, flash to basically extend the range of the Vault Breaker, but he couldn't quite get himself into range on that one. The flash range nerf from about 2 years ago was just a little bit too much for him, so he's still not used to it. He's practicing the solo queue so he can eventually be you know, a little bit more aware of exactly how far his flash can take him. But he was still able to get into range and close that up, as you see Vi with that. Oh my goodness, yet another huge hook on the lawn.
Yeah, that net just goes right through that box. Box not going to be proccing quite yet, but flashes forward. That's going to be, again, the Boomerang Blade. Latman getting out of that one skin of his teeth, but now sitting very comfy at 4-0-0. And that red buff transfer from Caitlyn. She is becoming an absolute monster despite being down 40 CS.
Yeah, so it basically comes down to this. Laud is doing a great job of CSing and doing a really horrific job of not getting hooked and killed by Body Drop. Body Drop is individually the reason this lane hasn't been cracked wide open. Because without those additional kills that Sivir's been getting, this lane would have been so incredibly one-sided, it would be almost painful to watch. But as it is, Body Drop is landing death sentence after death sentence. He's getting flays down at just the right time. LOD is playing this, once he gets hooked, he's playing this pretty well. He was able to use the 90 caliber net to get him out before the box procced, and that's what made it such that Body Drop and Latman both had to burn their flashes in order to secure the kill safely. But even given that, it's just these trades keep going so in favor of Latman, and they keep allowing him back into this lane in a situation where he almost has no business being here.
Well, you did also say back at Picks and Bans, I mean, Body Drop getting that Thresh is something that you don't want to do. We very might see that ban next game. Chunky Fresh, however, flashing forward into a pillar of filth. Gotta feel a little silly after that one, but Haunter gets that revenge. B-Sin, Assault and Battery, they gotta try to take down the LoLPally, but a great flash keeps him from going down, and that's going to be the hook out of that silly situation. So the 4-man gank bottom, unfortunately not yielding anything, and now losing out their top laner. That actually might be the equalization for the top turrets. Either way, we do got the position here as Disney Stars are thinking of a dragon.
Yeah, the thing about trying to go into this one, LOH is going to have his heal back up pretty soon, so a little extra HP coming out here. Jackie drops the ultimate. It's a little bit too late. B-Sin's going to secure that. And can they chase down Heaven Time?
Well, they're definitely going to try their best. Jackie has to get out of dodge, but that's Latman with a red, and I don't think Jackie has that flash. Boomerang Blade will pick it up. Now it is going to be Heaven Time on the run as well. B-Sin, however, with that Vault Break, it doesn't even need it. Latman with that auto attack takes it home for a double. And not only did the Dragon Steel not work, but 2 more kills going to the ADC, and we're sitting at a 6-0-0 Sivir, and she's starting to look absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, whenever you have red buff on Sivir, if she gets 1 auto attack down, you're pretty much done unless you have a summoner spell or some sort of gap creating ability available to you. Her passive increasing move speed on auto attack on champions or on spell use on champions, combined with the slowing effect of the red buff, kind of guaranteed that once that first auto attack hit Jackie, he wasn't going to go away from that one. Latman was able to just secure it with the boomerang blade and then go do other things like head to the bottom lane and farm instead.
15-7, I'd say that Latman might not be farming the lane, but he's farming the kills extremely well. 33,000 to the almost 30k now here for the LoLPro. In terms of the goal differences, I wouldn't say the game's over quite yet, but the mentality of just having to go up against Sivir and the just mechanics of Thresh has to be just doing a number on the psyche here for Laud and Low, because they are just not bringing it to this bottom lane.
Yeah, this has been a little bit rough for them after they got out of the early levels. And at this point, you can't really shove the Sivir in anymore either, because Ricochet on its own is probably going to deal enough damage to clear most of the creep wave down. And Ricochet plus Boomerang Blade will almost assuredly be the whole thing. So this CS gap, which at one point had shrunk up to like the 50 mark, is basically going to stop growing at any point. The Sivir is going to be able to keep up with Caitlyn and Farm because neither of them are really going to be missing too much CS.
Now, we talk a lot about the bottom lane farm, but if you take a look at both top laners, both of them are actually doing very well for themselves. 7,000 gold apiece and 7,800 there for our Renekton. If you see, he's had the Tiamat for a while, but he's also now finished up that Randuin's. And on the flip side, Trundle does have himself the Blade of the Ruined King and Giant's Belt. So, I mean, they're not doing so bad there. If you take a look at mid, it's a little less on the cash, about 7k each. Some good items there. But we're going to focus on this bottom because Body Drop finally hits himself that box. Not entirely too sure that he's going to be okay, but he is in the back there. It is going to be the kill on top of Nami. Flashing forward, Nod does drop. Double kill comes out for Beeson. He's going to go for Heaven Time. Can he get that trip? It does look like, well, not the trip, but Chunky Fresh will take it home. And that was a 3-for-0 Malphus and a really interesting 5-man gank.
Exactly, and that's just, you know, oh, Gremlin, oh, this is not fun.
He's baiting it out, yeah. Jackie just fell for it as well. Satchel and the bomb not gonna connect. Jackie doesn't also have that ult ready to go, so Gremlin's gonna zip zoom out of that one.
And Gremlin at this point has just enough ability power for his whimsy to make him like obscenely fast. it's so cute to see AP Lulus run around with a W on themselves.
I know, right?
Body drop. Yo, finally we saw him have an opportunity to use the lantern to pull Beeson into range to just do some really horrific things to the opposing laners. And just like that, we see now a 5,000 gold gap getting opened up here for the side of Disney Stars. And that's so much of that is just raw kill gold. They're up 11 kills right now, and it's still only good for a 5,000 gold lead.
Kills isn't everything. By the end of the day, it's towers and objectives and inhibitors. I mean, that's the win condition. If you actually break it all back down, kills are great and all. And as you see, I mean, Latman 603, he's basking in that. Laud, however, is showing us the technical last hitting. He is leading the game despite 3 deaths. He's leading the game in CS at 204. But these team fights, man, he's gonna be the target. Chunky Fresh trying to get into the back there with Body Drop. Beeson just beeline right into it. Latman going godlike, gets the double. Lulu picks himself up one as well, as that's gonna be it for Hanster. Chunky Fresh taking it, and that's gonna be the triple for the Latman. Ace for him, and that's gonna be towers and possibly inhibitors, but it's gonna be the surrender.
That's a surrender vote. Yeah, just like that, that was enough for them. The 5-for-0 ace, just really good, clean teamfight positioning, and Beeson completely taking LOD out of that one. LOD spent the entire fight running away from Beeson's Vi, then getting ulted by Beeson's Vi, and then getting